There are literally dozens of compact SUVs that offer space, comfort, and utility in abundance, but none of them do it like the Subaru Forester. The Forester is a little more wild than its competition with a tough exterior and, get this, all-wheel drive that comes standard. So what do you say we check this thing out and see what it can do? Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Desola with Edmunds. We painstakingly test and review hundreds and hundreds of cars every single year while CarMax experts appraise, buy, and sell thousands and thousands of them. So we thought, hey, why not combine our car testing knowledge with CarMax's experience to help you make the right choice on your next SUV. Now, before we get into all the deets, please make sure to like and subscribe to CarMax's channel for more videos. And of course, for more info on the Forester and all of its trims, click down below for an in-depth article. All right, you guys, let's get into the video. All right, so here are some upfront facts. This is the 5th generation Forester and it debuted in 2019. This one here is a 2021 model year. Now there are certain things that make a Forester a Forester. For instance, its boxy styling, high ground clearance, which is 8.7 inches, and of course, its standard all-wheel drive. We keep emphasizing standard because it's a rare thing to not have to pay extra for all-wheel drive and off-road packages that get you all of the cool rugged equipment that you're looking for. Instead, you just have to choose between the trim levels: base, premium, sport, limited, and touring. The one we have here is a premium. CarMax sells 2019 through 2021 Foresters for an average of just around $31,000. Now keep in mind that the price depends on things like the trim level, mileage, options, and other factors. Now if you like the Forester, here are some other options for you to check out. Now if you want a great feel on the road, the Mazda CX-5 and Hyundai Tucson may be great options for you. And if you're looking for lots of space, make sure to look into the Nissan Rogue and the Honda CR-V. Some other off-road champs are the Jeep Cherokee and the Ford Bronco Sport. All right, so let's get back to the Forester and explore its many capabilities. Inside of the Forester is pretty nice. This trim is a step above the base model, so it's not the most fancy thing in the world, but it is still pretty good in here. You know, one thing that's really nice about the Forester is that it has an interior that isn't afraid to get dirty. But listen, when I say that, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean that it's cheap, because it's not. There are a lot of nice soft touch materials in here, like this nice dashboard and this really cool center armrest. We also like the sharp style and the solid fitment, because that's not something that we can say about every compact SUV in the class. You know, I really like that it feels pretty spacious in here. Like, it is a compact SUV, but I have room to move around and everything, and it's really comfortable. Also, the upright seating position really helps for all you tall people out there because there's a lot of headroom. And you know, these seats, they're not bad. The seats are nice, they're real plush, but they're not too soft, which is always a good thing. I took a 2-hour road trip driving this and it was great. It was really comfortable and I liked it. Plus, the one we have has heated seats, so that was really nice when it got cold. I will say that at the end of the trip, I did feel a little something in my lower back, but I mean, come on, I was driving for 2 hours after all. So the outward visibility on this Forester is great. You have these tall windows, plus you have this really huge sunroof, so it just feels really airy in here. All right, friends, so now on to my favorite part, technology. So when I first got in here, I've got to be honest, the first thing I noticed is what seems to be an extremely small infotainment screen. Now this is a 6.5 touchscreen, which is great, but it just feels really small. I don't know, it feels small. So if you go to limited or touring, you will get an 8-inch screen, which is much better. You know, I feel like the reason why this 6.5-inch screen looks so small is because it has all this plastic around, and I just feel like it didn't do it justice. But on the positive side, it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which comes standard. Now you know I've got to tell you about the sound system, and to be honest, it's not the best, okay? It's very flat and it doesn't really have any bass to it, but luckily there is an optional sound system, so I recommend you upgrade to that. Believe me, it'll make a huge difference. An EyeSight driver assist comes standard on all models, and it's actually one of our favorite driver's aid suites. It comes with lane departure warning, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, and more. They all work really well for the most part, but I did notice that the lane keep assist kind of loses its place sometimes compared to other ones I've driven with this feature, especially when you're on like a curved road. The Forester is available with only one engine choice, and it's not very fast at all. The engine is underpowered and it needs to try harder. The power is definitely not the best, but if you're a normal everyday driver who's just going from point A to point B and aren't looking for a performance SUV, I don't think you'll be too disappointed with the power. I mean, you're obviously not buying this to drag race anybody, and if you are, you may want to rethink that. The CVT transmission doesn't help matters much. When I personally drive CVTs, I like to take my foot off the pedal just to give me the illusion of a normal shifting engine. This does have an automatic start-stop system, and it's very noticeable. The car shakes a lot when it turns on and off. I had to let you know because a lot of people find these kinds of systems annoying. Braking is just above average for the class, but it does feel very stable. And we really like the way the steering feels in here. It's confident in the turns and it's pretty responsive, but it really comes alive off-road. In the dirt or on a trail, the Forester feels right at home because of its excellent all-wheel drive system and traction system that powers through soft and slippery surfaces. It does have a good amount of low-end torque for off-roading and extreme weather. You won't have to worry about a thing driving this. If you're into the Forester, there's a high chance that you're probably into outdoorsy activities also, and there's definitely enough space back here for all of that. Now the cargo area is not class leading, but it's still pretty good. You get 28.9 cubic feet in most of all the models, but if you decide to go with the base model, you actually get 31.1 cubic feet, so that's pretty good. Now if you need any more space than that, you can just push the seats down, they go flat, and you'll be good to go. Now when it comes to towing, it's not really the strong suit of the Forester. You get max 1,500 pounds, which is probably a dirt bike or two, plus a trailer. So if you're looking for something that will tow more, you may want to look at some other options. All right, so I know you've been waiting to hear all about that fuel efficiency, and this gets an EPA rated 29 miles per gallon combined, which is actually pretty good, especially considering the fact that it has, say it with me, all-wheel drive standard. Not many small crossovers have a true defined identity, but the Subaru Forester does, and that's why its owners love them so much. I'm telling you, go to any national park or hiking trail and you'll see them everywhere. Our biggest issue with the Forester is definitely the engine. It just doesn't have enough power. It doesn't. But hey, it's okay, because it more than makes up for it with its character and off-road chops. So if you decide to go with one, don't be surprised if you find yourself buying some hiking boots and camping gear in no time. Just please promise me that you won't buy those hiking sandals. Let us know what you think about the Forester and if you could see yourself driving one in the comments. And if you want to know everything and more about it, click the link down below for an in-depth article. Oh yeah, one more thing. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.